Jurassic World 3 article we're going to cover today. Just something for fun before the podcast tonight. We got some big announcements to make. I might make them right inside the video, and I'll reiterate them on the show tonight, which is 8:35 Eastern. We're featuring myself, Mr. Tonedef, Steve from Franchise History TV, Cody from Goober Brothers Entertainment, possibly the Don of 2 Cents Toys, Salvador, will be making an appearance at some point this evening. So I'm out of my element here. You can tell I'm not in my office where I usually record. So let's just watch a clip and then start the video.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
Since I don't like to make promises that I can't keep, I said I was going to make an announcement inside the video, and here it goes. So, we hit 202 subscribers over the weekend. That was awesome. I'd like to thank everyone for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Before we get on to today's video, with that milestone comes a couple announcements. Number one, we're going to have a 200 subscriber watch party. The exact date I will be naming by this evening, so you have to tune into the podcast this evening at 8:35 Eastern to see the date for that. And number two, we are going to do another watch party next month, May 23rd, which I believe is a Saturday night. We're going to do a watch party for Empire Strikes Back because May 21st is the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. That is my favorite Star Wars movie and one of my favorite movies of all time. It was number one on my most rewatchable movies list, so that's what we got going on there with the watch parties. Oh yeah, my birthday, we're going to do a watch party too around that. We could do it that Saturday night, the 18th. My birthday is Sunday, the 19th. So stay tuned. I will let you know that information also before the end of this week. Also, it'll be posted in our Facebook groups. It'll be posted in our Twitter timeline, the watch party information. Also over on Instagram. I haven't been as up on updating the Instagram stuff, so I will do that too. But let's get into this article. MovieWeb.com, 7 characters that need to return in Jurassic World 3. As you can see, some of the actors here. I don't know that we really need Julianne Moore and Vince Vaughn back.
No, don't like that.
And they show Newman.
The day will come. Oh, yes. Mark my words, Seinfeld. Your day of reckoning is coming. And I'll be there in all my glory, watching as it all comes crumbling down.
I call him Dennis, Wayne Knight. Dennis Nedry was his name, but I believe he's dead, so he can't come back. I mean, it would be great if he wasn't dead and he came back, but then I can't remember this guy's name. He was from like Jurassic Park 3. The Jurassic Park franchise has at least one more installment in store for us. Jurassic World 3, officially titled Jurassic World Dominion, is currently in the works and will round out the current trilogy that kicked off in 2015. While many details remain mysterious about the sequel, what we know for sure is it will be bringing many characters from throughout the franchise history of the series. With that in mind, there are several figures we haven't seen in some time that could make a fresh appearance alongside some of these other returning favorites. Details regarding the movie's plot are at present slim. We know it will feature dinosaurs out in the real world, given what we saw at the end of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. As well as a live-action short, The Battle at Big Rock. Plus, Colin Trevorrow, who directed Jurassic World, is returning to the helm to finish what he started. Perhaps most importantly, Chris Pratt said, "It feels like Avengers Endgame with everybody in it." Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard will be returning as Owen Grady and Claire Dearing. The biggest attraction here is that Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are all reuniting in Jurassic World 3 as Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm for the first time since the original Jurassic Park. What other characters will director Colin Trevorrow bring into the fold? Here are a few suggestions. Now, some of these characters, I mean, it would kind of make sense because they would be They would be old enough to be in these. Tim Murphy. This one feels like an absolute no-brainer for longtime fans. Tim first appeared in Jurassic Park as the grandson of Richard Hammond. Actor Joseph Mazzello has only reprised the role once, very briefly, in 1997's The Lost World. Since Chris Pratt previously likened this to Avengers Endgame, but for the Jurassic Park series, it would feel wrong not to see Tim back as an adult. How would he react to the dinosaurs out in the real world? Did he abandon his love of these prehistoric creatures? Just imagine seeing Tim and Alan reunited. This has to happen. I think that would actually be kind of cool. I don't know, we haven't seen him, like I said, since this movie. I don't even recall him being in, was it The Lost World in 97? I don't even recall that one. His sister Lex Murphy, that would make sense too. Lex, it would seem like a sin to bring back Tim and not also have his sister Lex return as well. Lex similarly was brought to her grandfather's dinosaur amusement park for an early test run with disastrous results. Undoubtedly, Lex would have strong thoughts about dinosaurs and humans being forced to coexist. Much like Tim, Ariana Richards only came back for a tiny part in The Lost World. If this really is the final entry in the series, we need some more screen time with Lex. That would probably make an interesting little, plot turn to have those two in there.
Now, to be fair.
Sarah Harding. We first met Sarah Harding in The Lost World. She was a scientist and an adventurer who happened to be dating Ian Malcolm at the time when Hammond convinced her to head out on a dicey expedition to Isla Sorna, aka Site B. Played by Julianne Moore, we haven't seen or heard from the character since she helped stop the T-Rex rampage in San Diego. Is she still together with Ian? Wouldn't she have strong feelings about what happened to these creatures in the years since 1997? Not only that, but Moore is a world-class actress, and getting her back on board couldn't possibly hurt matters. Would she be willing to come back on board? Nick Van Owen. Ah, yes. Vince Vaughn. In a perfect world, Pete Postlewaite would still be with us and could check back in with the big game hunter Roland Tembo. InGen's ill-fated expedition on Site B in The Lost World. Sadly, Postlewaite passed away in 2011 and it would feel wrong to recast the role. So Nick Van Owen seems like the next best thing to help tie Jurassic World Dominion into the second entry in the franchise. Played by Vince Vaughn, Nick was a photographer who also happened to be an environmentalist. He aided Hammond's team in dismantling InGen's plans to take dinosaurs off Isla Sorna. Since Site B's fate truly hasn't been explored in the sequels, it might make sense to bridge that gap now, and Nick could logically come into play if that does happen. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, but I mean, what can you probably get Vince Vaughn for like a six-pack of craft beer. Billy Brennan, Jurassic Park 3 is not what one would call a beloved sequel, not by a long shot. It actually killed the franchise for 14 years, but it's part of the events that led us to here, and bringing in a character or two from this movie could be a way to heal old wounds, namely Alessandro Nivola's Billy Brennan, Alan's friend and paleontology assistant who got dragged into a nightmare scenario on Isla Sorna. Did Billy and Alan patch things up after the whole raptor egg incident? Perhaps he is working with Dr. Grant when the events that bring him back to the fold and Dominion are put into motion. Either way, it would feel appropriate to have some tie to this particular sequel, and I highly doubt many fans care what the Kirbys are up to. No disrespect to Tia Leone and William H. Macy. Charlie. Remember Charlie? We already know that Ellie Sattler is coming back. When we last saw her in Jurassic Park 3, she had a young son named Charlie, played by Blake Michael Bryan. While Ellie getting mixed up with these dinosaurs once again, it would be a nice callback to bring her son into the fold in a meaningful way as well. Is he living in his mom's shadow? Did he also take a liking to dinosaurs in his adulthood? This is in many ways a blank canvas to paint a potentially fascinating character on and could represent a rich storytelling opportunity. Dodgson. Yeah, remember Dodgson?
Dodgson! Dodgson! We've got Dodgson here! See, nobody cares.
We met Dodgson in a key scene in Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park as a man pulling the corporate strings, paying nerdy... We met Dodgson in a key scene in Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park as the man pulling the corporate strings, paying Nedry to steal Hammond's precious dino DNA for another rival company looking to get into the prehistoric theme park business as well. Unfortunately, Nedry died rather gruesomely, and the famed Barbasol can was never seen again. It would be a great way to bring that thread full circle by having Dodgson come back. There is a major caveat to this one, though. Actor Cameron Thor, who originally played the character, was sentenced to 6 years in prison in 2013 for sexually assaulting a minor.
Are you fucking high?
Unlike Roland Trembo, given the circumstances, recasting the part, should the character appear, would be the right call to make in this situation. Wow, I was not aware that that had happened. Jurassic World Dominion is set to hit theaters July 11th, 2021 from Universal Pictures. Do I think any of these characters will appear in the movie? I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It would seem like if they're going to the well with nostalgia and member berries, this would seem like a logical next step. You know, at least one or two of these characters back. If I had my druthers, I would probably say Ellie Sattler's son would be a safe bet. The Murphy kids. Tim and Lex Murphy would be probably my two odds-on favorites, plus Ellie Sattler's son Charlie. Those three would be the ones that would make sense to tie them in, given Tim and Lex's relation to John Hammond, as well as Ellie Sattler's son Charlie. Obviously, it's her son. So let's see what happens. What do you guys think? Well, let's close this thing out, shall we? There's the thumbnail for episode 95. Join us tonight when we talk about Dana Schwartz, Cat Pan Mediocre, that bitch Carol Baskin, and so much more. Here's where you can find us across social media. It's not like I haven't told you guys that before. You know where we are, where to find us, how to find us. Be sure to click subscribe to join the Fandom Menace. Hail the Fandom Menace. Hail to thee, my subscribers. Remember, come back tonight, 8:35 Eastern, right here in the channel. If I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow. There's another video, and that's coming up next.